Born Roberta Joan Anderson on November 7, 1943, in the tiny town of Fort Macleod in Alberta, Canada, Joni Mitchell faced one of the greatest challenges of her life at an early age. At age 9, Mitchell contracted polio and was hospitalized during an outbreak. Initially bedridden, a recovering Mitchell discovered her love of entertaining while singing for convalescing patients. Ironically, Mitchell's bout with the crippling illness would influence her music in unforeseen ways. Unable to form conventional guitar chords because of weakness in her left hand, the singer experimented with alternate tunings that have since become part of her signature sound. Mitchell, cited by Rolling Stone as one of the 100 best guitarists of all time, has used up to 50 non-standard tunings, allowing her to explore rhythm, harmony, and melody in unique and innovative ways. Freethinking and artistic, teenage Joni Mitchell had little use for high school. Music, dance, and the visual arts were far more important than the classes her Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, high school offered. Yet, even within the confines of an educational system she found frustrating, the budding artist and musician had one ally. "I was fortunate in the public school system to have one radical teacher," Mitchell remembers. "He was a handsome, spirited man and a reverer of spirit. He drew out my poetry. I wrote an epic poem in class. I labored to impress him. I got it back circled and read with cliché. At the bottom he said, 'Write about what you know. It's more interesting.'" Nevertheless, Mitchell flunked out of the 12th grade. She eventually earned her high school diploma by picking up her failing courses in summer school. Free of the academic constraints of high school, Mitchell was at last ready to embark on her lifelong dream of becoming a painter. Working as a waitress, she earned enough money to begin her formal education in the visual arts. She enrolled in the Alberta College of Art in Calgary, where she excelled in her classes. But, a year into her studies, she found the prevailing attitudes in art education just as stifling as high school. Not happy with the school's pigeonholing of students as either commercial or fine artists, Mitchell dropped out. While attending the Alberta College of Art, Joni Mitchell supported herself as a department store model. While pursuing her studies, she developed an interest in music and taught herself to play guitar. Soon, the struggling art student was supplementing her income performing in Alberta coffeehouses. Around this time, Joni Mitchell had a tryst with a handsome fellow artist named Brad McMath. Following the fling, Mitchell discovered that she was pregnant. When McMath found out, he abandoned Mitchell and left for California. Virtually penniless and fearing her parents' scorn, she fled to Toronto to give birth to the daughter she would name Kelly Dale Anderson. Unable to provide for the child, Mitchell gave her up for adoption. It was a decision that would haunt her and influence her music for the rest of her life, per The New Yorker. As detailed by biography, Joni Mitchell, then Roberta Joan Anderson, met folk musician Chuck Mitchell in the spring of 1965. Just 36 hours after meeting at Toronto's Penny Farthing Coffee House, the couple married. Soon after, they began performing as a duo, singing in Detroit area folk music venues such as Chessmate and the Raven Gallery. However, the marriage was on shaky ground from the start. Joni has since described her time with Chuck Mitchell as a marriage of convenience that existed solely as a means for gaining custody of her daughter. Yet, Chuck Mitchell's failure to follow through with helping Joni reunite with her baby wasn't their only source of marital strife. Chuck, a well-educated man several years Joni's senior, often made her feel intellectually inadequate. As recounted by The Ringer, citing from David Jaffe's 2017 biography of the singer Reckless Daughter, a portrait of Joni Mitchell, Joni once lamented that she was illiterate in comparison to Chuck. However, there's little doubt that Chuck Mitchell's condescending attitude toward his young wife was born from insecurity and the fact that she was rapidly outshining and outgrowing him as a musician and songwriter. By 1968, the marriage was over. By the end of the 60s, Joni Mitchell's star was on the rise. As her power as an artist grew, she also came into her own as a liberated woman. Embracing the free love movement of the era, Mitchell left a string of famous paramours in her wake. In 1967, just prior to her divorce from Chuck Mitchell, she moved to Los Angeles' Laurel Canyon and began a relationship with David Crosby of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Soon after, she fell for Crosby's bandmate Graham Nash, with whom she seriously contemplated marriage. Throughout the 1970s, Mitchell was romantically linked with a number of famous men in the entertainment industry, including James Taylor, Leonard Cohen, Jackson Browne, and Warren Beatty. Along with a turbulent love life, success exposed Joni Mitchell to other excesses. In 1975, while touring with Bob Dylan's Rolling Thunder Revue, Mitchell became addicted to cocaine. Although the drug fueled the writing of her 1976 album Hedera, it caused Mitchell to suffer bouts of insomnia. It would take her years to completely overcome her addiction. Cited as an influential album by artists ranging from Bob Dylan to Taylor Swift, Joni Mitchell's fifth album, Blue, released in 1971, marked a turning point in her career. Blue is, at times, painfully personal. Rooted in Mitchell's depression, the album lays bare the whole of her turbulent life with songs that detail everything, from her many fractured relationships to a veiled ode to the child she gave up. Despite its highly confessional nature, Blue proved to be anything but cathartic for Mitchell. Writing and recording and then performing the songs from the album night after night in front of sold-out audiences took an emotional toll on the songwriter. In 1974, Joni Mitchell released the album Court and Spark. It was an instant hit, charming both fans and critics with such signature songs as Help Me. Her only top 10 Billboard single, Court and Spark, was the pinnacle of Mitchell's commercial success. Mitchell's next album, 1975's The Hissing of Summer Lawns, however, would mark a transition to a more experimental, jazz-influenced sound. Alienating longtime fans and confusing critics, the album took a drubbing from the press. Rolling Stone praised the songwriting but lambasted the music, calling the album a great collection of pop poems with a distracting soundtrack. 1982 would prove an important year for Joni Mitchell. Entering her third decade in the music business, Mitchell took a break from jazz to explore pop music for her 11th studio album, Wild Things Run Fast. While recording the album, she met bassist Larry Klein. Klein would be instrumental in shaping the album's direction. The couple soon became romantically involved, and they married the same year. Klein and Mitchell were a creative powerhouse. Klein co-produced Mitchell's next album, 1985's Dog Eat Dog, which continued in the pop-oriented direction of Wild Things Run Fast. Yet, 1985 found Joni Mitchell in the midst of another personal tragedy. Pregnant at 42, Mitchell miscarried in her first trimester. Klein decided to keep a professional commitment, leaving his wife to deal with the aftermath alone. Later, Mitchell would claim that Klein's choice to prioritize business over her well-being as a contributing factor to their divorce in 1994. Klein and Mitchell maintained an amicable relationship through their breakup. Although their marriage was over, their creative partnership remained in full bloom. Klein produced Mitchell's Grammy Award-winning album Turbulent Indigo, hailed by Rolling Stone as her best album since the 1970s. For years, Joni Mitchell has claimed to suffer from a little-understood malady known as Morgellons disease. Described by the Mayo Clinic as a controversial, unexplained skin condition characterized by small fibers or other particles emerging from skin sores. Medical experts disagree about the nature of the ailment and continue to debate whether the disease even exists. In March 2015, Joni Mitchell was found unconscious in her Los Angeles home. The singer was committed to intensive care, where she underwent tests which revealed she had suffered a crippling brain aneurysm. Although an early report from musician David Crosby indicated that she couldn't speak, Mitchell's representatives denied this, stating that she was speaking, and speaking well, but that she wasn't able to walk and would require extensive therapy. Mitchell was soon well enough to return home, but her recovery is ongoing.